بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وقدوتنا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة وأزكى التسليم اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. So we left off mid-lesson last time. It was a very important lesson, and thankfully, because it's so important, we're going to have a lot of opportunities for practice and exercise and going over it. And the basic idea, which we had said last time, was that when it comes to jumla ismiya, sentences that begin with an ism, the author of the book had started us off with the most easy type of, or the easiest type of jumla ismiya, which was using a demonstrative pronoun, hada, dhalika, and then some sort of object or person, so that we're just talking about this is something, this is a cat, this is a dog, this is a horse, and so on and so forth. And then we mentioned how there's other types of jumla ismiya, right? So we could, for example, begin our jumla ismiya with an ism, a common noun, right? And what we would have to do in order to begin such a sentence. So we introduced the alif lam at-ta'rif, right? Putting alif lam before a common noun. And we discussed how that made it definite. So we introduced the grammatical concept of definite versus indefinite nouns. In English, this is completely 100% translatable to the and a. We say kitabun is a book, whereas al-kitabu is the book, right? One of those, the last one, is definite. We're referring to a specific object. No other object will do. Whereas kitabun is a book. We're talking about one of many books. Any one will do. And about how our sentence structure now was, for example, I'll scroll up, I guess. Al-qalamu maksurun. The pen is broken. And we talked all about the grammar and things like that. I won't bore you with going over that. We'll try to get into some more exercises and the grammar will come. But the most important thing that we pointed out was that if you add alif lam, the tanween has to go away. It's like a seesaw. If the tanween is there, alif lam cannot be there. Maksurun. If alif lam is there, the tanween goes away and leaves behind only one haraka, in this case, dhamma. Al-qalamu. So it's not possible to have al-qalamun, and it's not possible to have maksuru, right? Either you have, we're talking about nouns, either you have tanween or you have alif lam. So good, let's just get right into the exercises and we will elaborate on or reiterate some of the grammar as we go. So let's start with Dr. Muhsin. Could you read exercise number 1 right here?
Inshallah. Al-kitabu jadidun wal-qalamu qadimun.
Very good. The book is new. Jadid means new. So if that's a new vocab word for you, and many of these exercises will have new vocab. Jadid means new. Al-kitabu jadidun. This is a complete sentence. No problem. Al-kitabu is al-mubtada, right? We said that a jumla ismiya has two parts, the mubtada and the khabar. Al-kitab is the mubtada, jadid is the khabar. We said that we learned two things about the mubtada. It has to be marfu', meaning it has to have some sort of dhamma at the end, and it has to be ma'rifah. In this case, we know it's ma'rifah because of the alif lam. And the khabar is jadid, and we said that the khabar, we knew two things about it as well. The khabar also has to be marfu', which means it has some sort of dhamma at the end. And it has to be nakira, which is indefinite, which is by the tanween. We'll get into that more and more and more as we go along. And then we have the second, so we have really two sentences here in one, or two clauses. وَالْقَلَمُ, the pen, and the pen, قَدِيمٌ, is old. Is old. So qadim is the opposite of jadid. الْكِتَابُ جَدِيدٌ وَالْقَلَمُ قَدِيمٌ. Very good. Syra, while we're in your screen, can you read the second exercise?
Yeah.
Al-himru.
Yes, al-himaru.
Al-himaru saghirun.
Good.
Wa al-hisanu kabirun.
Excellent work. Good job. Al-himar, which we said was a donkey. Saghirun means small. Al-himaru saghirun, the donkey is small. Wal-hisanu, and the horse, kabirun, is big, large. So we have two new adjectives, saghirun, kabirun, small and large. Let's go to Rashad. Rashad, or yes, number 3.
Rashad actually is a little busy. I can do it for him. I mean, I can do it for myself.
Oh, you got it.
Okay. Okay, so it's al-kursiyu maksurun.
Excellent work. Yes, al-kursiyu maksurun. The chair is broken. Now, Mir, I'm going to pick on you a little bit because this is the shortest sentence we've had.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you, okay, this is the jumla ismiya. What's the mubtada of this jumla ismiya?
Sorry, I'm just gonna look at it a little bit.
No problem. Mubtada translates as the subject.
Okay. Is it like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you.
That's okay, no problem. To be honest, we don't want anyone to make anything up. So just a brief refresher. So we said that all of these sentences, they begin with an ism, right? Al-kitab, al-himar, al-kursi, al-mandil. These are all examples of ism. And so we said we likened it to a house, and this was the room we're going into. If we're in this room, we're talking about a sentence that begins with an ism. Every sentence that begins with an ism has to have two parts. The first part is called the mubtada, which corresponds to the subject. We can call it the subject if you like. And the second part is the khabar, or the predicate. And then we learned that each of these two parts has two essential qualities. Okay, the mubtada has two qualities, the khabar has two qualities. The first thing that we learned about the mubtada is that it has to be marfu'. What is marfu'? Remember, that was when we were talking about grammatical case. Why does it have a dhamma on the end? Why not a fatha? Why not a kasra? Why not a sukun? We said this is because the mubtada and the khabar are both in this grammatical case. In English, it's called the nominative case. And all you need to know is that it's called marfu' and that we show it by some sort of dhamma. The second thing that we learned, so mubtada and khabar are the same in that. Both of them are in this same grammatical case, marfu'. So this is why they both have a dhamma on the end, as opposed to a fatha, as opposed to a kasra or something else. The second thing that we learned, and this is the difference between the mubtada and the khabar, is that one of them has to be definite and the other one has to be indefinite. Ma'rifa and nakira. So the mubtada is ma'rifa, and that rhymes. So it's very easy, it's easier to remember. Mubtada ma'rifa. And the khabar must be nakira, or indefinite, which is why the khabar maksur has a tanween on the end. It doesn't just have one dhamma, it has two, maksurun. And kursiyu has simply one dhamma. All of that is very, it's not easy. It's very theoretical, but it will come in handy later down the road. Let's see, who do we have? We have a small class today. So, and I've gotten messages from 2 people who said that they cannot do the exercises due to work or babies or other causes. So, I will do number 4. The 4th example is al-mindilu wasikhun. We learned al-mindil, it was either a cloth or a handkerchief or a fabric. And wasikhun means dirty. Dirty, the opposite of clean. So this, again, just like all the other examples, is a jumla ismiya. It has 2 parts, the mubtada and the khabar. The mubtada and the khabar are both marfu', which is why you see some sort of dhamma on the end of both of them. And the mubtada is ma'rifa, which is why it has alif lam and no tanween. Excuse me. And the khabar is nakira, which is why it has a tanween. Okay, back to Dr. Muhsin. Can you do number 5 for us?
Al-ma'u baridun.
Excellent. Al-ma'u, which is water, the water. Baridun is cold. Al-ma'u baridun, the water is cold. And Dr. Syra, if you could do number 6.
Sure. Al-Kamaru Jamilun.
Excellent. Al-Qamaru is the moon. Al-Qamar, which is one of the surahs, the chapters of the Quran. Jamilun means beautiful. And that is one of Allah's names. Allahu al-Jamilu yuhibbul jamal. Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. Good. Okay, let's give Mir a tough one. Can you do number 7?
Yes. Al-baytu qaribun wa al-masjidu ba'idun.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
Al-baytu, we learned that before. It is the house. Qaribun means close. Close by. Wal masjidu, and the masjid, ba'idun, is far away. So we're learning some really useful adjectives and opposites. The following one, al-hajaru thaqilun. Thaqilun. That means the rock or the stone or the boulder, al-hajar. Thaqilun is heavy. Wal-waraqu khafifun. And this can be a leaf or it can be a sheet of paper. They didn't specify. I'm imagining here what's more suitable for an opposite of hajar is a leaf. Is khafifun is light. Is light. Khafif. So we have 2 new opposites. Thaqil, heavy, and khafif. And we learned that just like in English, we say loose leaf paper, they have the same secondary meaning of a leaf, and they also refer to their paper by using the same imagery. Okay, let's do Syra, could you do number 9 for us?
Okay. Al-labanu
Good.
harun.
Excellent work. It was difficult to pronounce. That's why I gave it to you. Al-labanu, we learned that before. Either milk or yogurt, depending on which part of the Arab world you're in. Harun means hot. Means hot. Har. And I think we have Ibrahim joined up with us. So Ibrahim, if you could do number 10 for us.
Al-Qamisu Nathifun.
Excellent. Al-Qamis means a shirt, or in olden times, a thobe. Nadifun is the opposite of wasikhun. We learned wasikhun means dirty. Nadifun means clean. So we have learned a lot of really useful vocab in this exercise. We've learned saghir and kabir, small and large. We've learned jadid and qadim, new and old. We've learned wasikh and nadif, dirty and clean. Barid and har, cold and hot. Qarib and ba'id, near and far. And thaqil and khafif, which are respectively heavy and light. Great job. Okay, now we're going to test your application. This next activity is going to test your application of understanding the difference between definite and indefinite nouns. So we said that what we had was like a seesaw effect. If you have a common noun, it's either going to have alif lam or it's not. Here, I'm going to switch the screen share to the whiteboard just to drive the point home. If we have, for example, kitab, if it's just like this, kitab, it has to have two dhammas. Kitabun, which means a book. This is indefinite. I'm not talking about one specific book. If I want to talk about one specific book, I have to add something to the front of the word, which is al. Al-kitab. If I do that, then guess what? The second dhamma has to go away, and we're left with al-kitabu. Just like Allah says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdu. Right? If it did not have alif lam, it would be hamdun. But no, Allah doesn't want to say just some of the praise belongs to Allah. He wants to say the praise. All of it belongs to Allah. Alhamdu. So it's like a seesaw effect. If you have this, the tanween has to go away. If you don't have this, the tanween comes back. Two dhammas instead of one. So that's what this next exercise is going to test you on your apprehension and application of that concept. So we're going to read, and look what they did. They've taken away the endings. Oh. So you're going to have to read it with the ending, whether it's a tanween or not, depending on the context. So I'll do the first two just to show you what they want, and then we'll have some of you all do it. So for example, we have masjidun, right? How do I know it's masjidun? Because it does not have alif lam. Oh, look at the next example. This one does have alif lam, and so I know that it can only be al-masjidu without the without the tanween. And you're uncovering the process of being able to read Arabic without any of the vowel signs, without any of the harakat. Look at this word here, al-masjidu. You know exactly how to pronounce it, and you don't need any help, any kasra, dhamma, fatha, anything. Because you know what the word means, and you know what it ends with. So let's start with the Sheikh family. If you could begin for us after on the third example there.
Al-ma'un.
Close.
sorry, no, al-ma'u
Oh, good fix. Good fix.
and ma'un.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do the exercises in pairs. Al-ma'u, which we said was water. In this case, the water. Al-ma'u. And then if we wanted to just say generally water, ma'un. Good. Ibrahim, do the next one because it's not in pairs.
البيت البيت
Give us an ending haraka. Is it just al-bayt? Is it al-bayta? Al-bayti? Al-baytu?
البيت
Yes, excellent. That's what we're looking for. Al-baytu and not al-baytun. Good. Mir, can you please do the next example?
Yeah, it's babun.
Excellent. Good. So hear how Mir put the tanween at the end. He didn't say babu, he said babun. She put the tanween on the end because it does not have an alif lam. So we know that it is definite and it loses its tanween. Good. Up to Dr. Muhsin, the following word.
قلم
Excellent.
القلم.
Fantastic. Exactly. We have a pair here, so we did both of them. قلم, which is indefinite, no alif lam, so it has to have the tanween. And al-qalamu, alif lam, it's definite, it loses the tanween and only gets one dhamma instead of two. Dr. Saira, could you do the following two?
Al-kalbu, kalbun.
Excellent work. Good. So the same exact principle. We have a definite noun here and we have an indefinite noun over there. How do we tell in Arabic? We don't have the words a, we don't have the words the. We tell with two things. Either the alif, well, both the alif lam and the tanween. Alif lam tells us it's meaning the dog, al-kalbu. And kalbun, the tanween tells us that we mean a dog. Back to the Sheikh family. Can you do the next two?
Khamisun waladun.
Excellent work. Both of those are nakira. Nakira is our Arabic word for indefinite. So that means that they both have tanween. Qamisun waladun. Waladun we said was boy. Ibrahim, can you do the next two?
الحم no الحجر جارو
Good.
الواد
Close. Al-waladu.
ولد
Good.
الولد
Over here. Yes. So both of these now are definite. So that's why both of them have alif lam, and neither of them will get the tanween. It will not be al-hajarun. It will be al-hajaru. Al-waladu. Good. Sister Mia, could you do the next two?
Yes. Himarun al-himaru.
Excellent work. Good. So you heard how the first one, which is nakira, had the tanween. Himarun. And you heard how the second one, she took the tanween away when she added alif lam because it is ma'rifa. Al-himaru. And finally, I'll just do the last one. It's the same principle. Al-hisanu. Hisanun. This one is ma'rifa. It's ma'rifa because of the alif lam. This one is nakira. Nakira because it has tanween. Excellent work. Let's do some more. Back to the Muhsin family, or the Sayyid family. Muhsin, could you do number one?
المكتب مكسور.
Excellent. Look what they've done. Now they've given you these sentences. They're very similar to the previous sentences, but they took away all of the vowel markings, right? So now they're going to test you both on your vocab, how much you know the word. Why is it maktab and not muktab or miktab or miktub, right? And your grammar, Al-maktabu maksurun, which Dr. Muhsin passed with flying colors. Al-maktabu with no tanween, maksurun with tanween. Okay, moving right over to Syra. Could you please do number 2?
Mudrasu jadidun.
Excellent work. Al-mudarrisu, our intriguing word from the last lesson. Al-mudarrisu. So look at how they took away everything. Al-mudarrisu, except this one dhamma to kind of give you a hint. Jadidun. It has a dhamma at the end and not 2 dhammas because of the alif lam. It is ma'rifah. It is mubtada ma'rifah. And this here, jadidun, is khabar nakira. Excellent work. Mir, can you do number 3 for us?
Yes. Al-qamisun. No, sorry, al-qamisu.
Good.
I don't know how to read the next one. What was Sajun?
That's okay. Very good.
Okay.
Wasijun.
Wasijun. Okay.
Yes. So there's a fatha on top of the waw. There is a kasra underneath the sin, and there is a tanween, 2 dhammas on the kha.
Do you know that there is a like the bottom one under scene? Like, how do you know that?
Yes, that is a function of just knowing the vocabulary, right? So how do we know that dog is kalbun and not kalabun or kilbun or kulbun, right? Understanding how to read Arabic without the fatha dhamma kasra is a function of 2 things. Knowing the vocabulary, which means basically knowing what are the small vowels before the last one on the word, and then knowing the grammar of the word, which is going to only affect what's going on at the end of the word. So if you didn't know the word, if you had never seen the word wasikh before, you would not know how to pronounce it. But as soon as you learn this word, okay, that's the word for dirty, I remember, it's wasikh, then you know everything about how to pronounce the word except for the very ending, which you rely on the grammar for. So the more vocab we learn and the more grammar we understand, the more we're building our ability to read Arabic without any help, any training wheels. You knew al-qamisu from before. Al-qamisu is a shirt or a thobe in olden times, and you knew to only put 1 dhamma at the end because it is mubtada, it is ma'rifah, and it is marfu'. And then once you learned the word for wasikh, which means dirty, you knew that it had to be wasikhun because it is the khabar. Because it is the khabar, it is also marfu', but it is nakira. Instead of being definite like al-qamisu, it is indefinite, wasikhun. Good. Let's hear from Ibrahim. Can you do number 4?
Al-labin.
Al-laban.
Al-laban.
Yep.
Barid.
Barid, what? What's on the end of it?
Barid.
Good. Baridun. Good. Al-labanu baridun. Excellent work. The yogurt or the milk is cold. Baridun means cold. Because it is a jumla ismiya, the first part is mubtada, the second part is khabar. We know 2 things about mubtada. It has to be marfu', which means it's going to have a dhamma, and it has to be ma'rifah, which means it has an alif lam and only 1 dhamma. Moving on to the second part, we know that it is the khabar, the predicate. The khabar, we know 2 things about it. First of all, it's marfu', so it's going to have a dhamma on the end. And then second, that it is nakira, that it is indefinite. And so it will have a second dhamma on the end. Baridun. Good. Sheikh family, number 5.
المسجد مفتوح.
Excellent work. Yes. Al-masjidu maftuhun. Back up to the Sayyid family. Muhsin, can you do number 6?
Al-hajaru kabirun.
Very good. Shaira, number 7.
Al-labanu baradun wa al-ma'u harun.
Excellent work. Yes. Al-labanu baridun wal-ma'u harun. And that's really interesting that we have a hint about a lesson we'll have to learn another time, which is why is it instead of wa al-ma, we said wal-ma'u. We will learn about that maybe next lesson or the lesson after. Wal-ma'u harun. There's 2 types of hamzas. This one's a hamzatul wasl instead of a hamzatul qata', but we'll learn that later. Good. A nice hard one for Mir. Mir, number 8.
Okay, so Al-Manu Jalisun. Jalisun. I
No,
don't know.
right the first time.
No. Jalisun.
Yeah.
Wal mudarrisu.
Yes.
Waqafun.
Very close. Waqifun.
Okay, kifun. Okay.
Good. Excellent work. That was a really hard one. And I wasn't joking. It was very hard. So notice now, we haven't learned the rule yet. We did learn jalisun and waqifun, I think, last class. Jalisun means sitting. Waqifun means standing. But listen to how they're both on the same pattern, right? Jalis, waqif. Okay? There are such things in Arabic as patterns of sound. And once we get a little further, I'm going to explain some of them to you, and it's going to make things easier, inshallah. But just notice now how jalisun and waqifun are both kind of on this same pattern. A'i'un, jalisun, waqifun, talibun, right? Very good. The other thing that we have to look out for is the opposite issue of, let's see, can I write on this? I want to write on here. Yes, I don't say, here we go. Okay, notice here where Syra read, we said that this is really a hamzatul wasl, just like alhamdulillah, okay? When we are reading it in the middle of a word, it goes away. Wal ma'u, al-qari'ah, mal-qari'ah, right? Here, what do we have here? That's actually a hamza down there. This is called a hamzatul qata', which all you need to know is that one you always pronounce it. So al-imamu, jalisun, wal-mudarrisu waqifun. The imam is sitting and the teacher is standing. Very good. Okay. Ibrahim, do for us number 9.
الكاميرو الكاميرو
Close. Al-qamar.
الكمارو بعيد.
Excellent. Good. So al-qamar, and you were not here yet when we learned this word, is the moon. Al-qamaru. It has simply one dhamma because it has alif lam. Ba'idun, with 2 dhammas because it is nakira, it's indefinite. It has no alif lam. And finally, the Sheikh family, number 10.
المنديل نزيف.
Very good. المنديل نظيف. Excellent work. The grammar is perfect. This is a dhamma, just one, because it is the mubtada, and the mubtada we know that it is ma'rifa and it is marfu', and nadhifun has two dhammas. It has tanween because it is khabar, and the khabar is marfu' and nakira. It's indefinite. How do we know it's indefinite? Because of the tanween. And I'll pick on your tajweed one more time, just because, you know, all of these things cross over to each other. The same thing with the. When we have the and dhal, we have to make the sound by sticking our tongue out between our two teeth. The. If we fail to stick our tongue out enough past or in between our teeth, if we keep it inside of our mouth, it's going to always sound like a za. Right? So al-mindilu nadhifun. Or when we had dhalika. Right? And that's going to help our tajweed. Excellent work. Okay. So, okay. Contain is off. Okay, good. Oh, look at that. If I move that, it'll appear on my drawing. There we go. Okay, very good. We are running out of time, so we'll probably stop here. However, I would recommend that you try this exercise for homework between now and Wednesday. So you're going to now, they've returned all of the harakat, the fatha, dhamma, kasra, everything. And now it's focusing on the meaning. So you see how every exercise is testing a different thing. We had something that was testing your understanding of ma'rifa nakira, definite and indefinite nouns. Now we have an exercise that's testing your understanding of the meaning of the vocab. So you're going to have to pick a suitable, sensical word or khabar to complete the jumla ismiya for every single mubtada that you are given. Al-hajar, al-qamar, al-mindil, al-babu. Right? So do that for homework, and then inshallah, if you really want to be a go-getter, you can do the next one as well. But I wouldn't go past that. And we will look at more next time. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Yes.
What is the meaning of ba'idun?
Ba'id means far, far away. The opposite of qareeb. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay, fantastic work, everybody. I will see you next time. May Allah benefit us by this knowledge and grant us success. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.